Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the Spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this may be one of the most controversial videos that I do because the art and entertainment cartel has very successfully over decades created this perception that artists are somehow an elite group that needs protection and they need to be treated somehow differently than every other group of people because they're more intelligent, sophisticated, enlightened. No, none of that's true. They just happen to be talented at one thing more than other people, which is in the realm of expression and creativity. But AI is really changing the game, and I'm all for AI coming in and absolutely curb stomping the egos of these far-left, deranged lunatics that have fancied themselves at the upper echelon of society. I absolutely have no problem with AI, and as it gets better, and as it gets more sophisticated, I am just gleeful that somebody who may not have an artistic bone in their body, but has a good idea of a world to build. Maybe their experience in life has prepared them to tell a story that they wouldn't have been able to tell. Maybe they don't have the money to pay the exorbitant rates of an artist. So they can use a tool at a relatively low cost to create something for the entire world. I'm all for that. I think that is incredible. And the smug, self-important liberals, watching them melt down is also a bit of a satisfactory experience. Now, I don't think that AI is going to completely and totally remove artists from the field of art. I think that for entertainment purposes, for the sake of movies and television shows, it's going to make things a lot more interesting. Because one of the main problems that we have currently is laziness and ego. When it comes to artists, laziness and ego, their delusional desire to have everyone pay attention to them and care about what they say, it pollutes and taints the artwork. And ultimately, the end result is that we have what we have in entertainment. Some of the worst decision-making I've ever seen. It's absolutely indefensible. You have a studio that has the rights to, I'll use She-Ra, for example. Now, some of you may not remember, but a couple years ago, there was a She-Ra remake, a readaptation. So they're going to take She-Ra, and they're basically going to turn her into an androgynous-looking boy character. That's essentially what happened. And when people like The Quartering and many others called this out, what were they met with? Oh, you just want to fap to this cartoon. Why would you care? Why would you care that this classic piece of entertainment is being turned into, fodder for these freaks? Why would you care? Why would you care that the characters are no longer allowed to be feminine? Now they have to be this masculine. People have taken the hair off of this character and given them pants, and it looks like a male character. There's no difference at all. And then it comes out that the person who was tasked with creating this redesign is, of course, an LGBTQ left-wing freak, a narcissistic loser who has to make everything about themselves. And, well, I'm non-binary and I identify like this. And so, of course, the main character is sort of like a lesbian. And like all of that filth, all of that disgusting brain-rotted garbage has wormed its way into entertainment. Well, guess what? AI is going to worm it back out. Because these studios don't actually care about that. What they care about is making money. Now, they made a huge misstep going all in on wokeness and DEI because they thought that that was going to be the future. They thought that they were going to be able to keep the markets they had while bringing in a new group of people. What they didn't know is that these people don't have money. They're toxic, they're angry, they're stupid, they're pathetic, and they're disgusting. And everything that they generate is fruit from the poisonous tree. Everything that they touch and create ultimately leads to ruin and disaster. And I'm not being hyperbolic. These same people were glazing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and a day later, Ubisoft comes out and says, yeah, we can't maintain this anymore. We're creating a subsidiary with Tencent. And what that revealed to me is that there are a lot of people, especially on the left, that don't know what a subsidiary is. They think, oh, Tencent's just giving like $1 billion to Ubisoft. They're going to be fine. This is great news. No. That's not at all what it is. But these people have created this air of superiority, of importance, and it's just simply not true. And I'm all for AI taking these people down a peg. And I want to show you what I'm referring to. So this is a post from Yeet. It's a great content creation channel. It shows a lot of the L's the streamers take, but also some of the wins. And this one is definitely a win. We've got Asmongold reacting to AI, basically creating an animated version of Lord of the Rings. Now you may say, well, there's already an animated version of Lord of the Rings. Well, what this has done is taken the movie and it's animated it for, I don't want to say a modern audience, but with modern art. Now, this is something that you couldn't get today because a whole bunch of freaks wouldn't want to turn Aragorn into a woman, a girl boss. They couldn't do this. And my thing is, if you're an artist and you're offended, be offended. You are no longer fit for purpose because you can't do the one thing that you're expected to do. You can't make art for the people that are going to be consuming your product. Everything has to be about you and your politics. And I believe in global warming and Trump's a Nazi. Every one of your mentally ill delusions finds its way into your work, and it is insufferable, it is disgusting, it is rejected by everyone. You people are deranged freaks, and you belong in a mental institution. Or a supermax prison in El Salvador. Either way, you're no longer fit for purpose. And now you're being replaced. And some people may want to sit here and say, oh, it's a terrible thing. I say it's a great thing. I'm one of the only ones to say it. I'm one of the only ones to express it. I think it's a great thing. And keep in mind, the reason why a lot of people don't share my opinion is because they don't really know any artists. I used to live in California. I used to live near UC Davis and UC Berkeley. I've seen these people up close. I've lived with them. God, sometimes I felt like I was living in a zoo. These animals. I was so enlightened. I cannot even begin to express to you how much I absolutely detest and loathe the left. Because every perception that they put forward about how they're good people is a lie. I'm not exaggerating here. Nearly every artist that I met was either a profound racist, or maybe they weren't racist, they were a freak. Like a legitimate degenerate freak. We're talking like furry shit, like, we can't say that, we got to pretend to be a good person. There's something deeply and profoundly wrong. And the internet it's made this apparently clear. Because before the internet, these people were still this way, but people would see, they'd see the artwork, but they wouldn't see the person. And there were societal standards at the time that kept sort of their work out of the public light. So a lot of their stuff was filtered. The story wouldn't really get released. There was a lot more like top-down, Hollywood, baby. Somebody like Weinstein back in the 80s and the 90s, it's a different time. But now that the internet has basically opened up communication with the world, you get to see these people and you realize that Mark Hamill is a nut job. My point here is that these people have been exposed as being awful. And there are people that still defend them, but I'm not one of them. I think that if you're a super talented artist, I think you're still going to find work. I think there's still going to be people who say, F this guy, F AI, I want only human art. But then there are going to be people like me that go, these artists have all revealed themselves to be pricks and assholes and degenerates and racists and stupid for-love losers. I'd rather go with the AI that's going to create something that maybe isn't perfect, but is damn better than what we're currently getting. I'd rather a comic book generated by an AI than a far-left woke activist that wants to turn Superman's son gay. That's my opinion.
The tech for it to understand, like, okay, each one of these things is a pillar. These are people walking down here. Like, this to me is fucking crazy. So you're going to see this happen a lot more. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to have any jobs pretty soon. Like, I would definitely say, like, that's, you have the 9 leaving Minas Morgul. Like, oh, fuck, man. This is insane. And so you've got Rivendell here. Yeah, so if you are an artist, this has been a really bad week for you. And I want to promise...
Yeah, so they basically, what they're doing is they're putting Lord of the Rings in the style of Studio Ghibli. Ghibli. Yeah. They're putting in the style of Studio Ghibli. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Is it Ghibli? I'm going to say Ghibli. But yeah, the AI has done a phenomenal job. It's not perfect, but it's done a phenomenal job of taking this sort of stuff and turning it into something that we can all look at and see and go, wow, that's actually pretty good. And there's no sinister, left-wing, authoritarian, elitist bullshit. It's just inputs. You input what you want, it gives it to you, and then you can turn it into something that the audience wants.
I promise you that it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you're an artist and this is upsetting you and you're worried, I want to promise you that it's only going to get worse. This is only the beginning. There will be like man-made horrors beyond the comprehension of the human mind. You don't even know what it's going to be like, right? And I would focus on career change. Yeah, exactly. And focus, like, go be a plumber or something like that.
Yeah, and that's sort of my sentiment too. I don't know if he's joking or not. But keep in mind, it's like these journalists and these artists and these people that thought that they were at the upper echelon of society, they've told average Americans to learn to code how many times? Like, they've looked down upon and condescended to middle America forever. I mean, it's always been repugnant to me to watch these people just be so brazenly disgusting as human beings and then be praised as though they're owed some kind of spot in our, in our upper echelon. The art that they're making in the West is a joke. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. It's gross. And I think if you refuse to acknowledge this, if you're like, oh, screw this Templar guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Real art is going to be good no matter what. It's like, you're delusional. AI art is going to take jobs away from these people. And it's a good thing because these people are evil. Now, I don't think that all of them are going to lose their job, but a good majority of them are. And that's a good thing. Because they're awful people. And guess what? These people celebrated when your rights were taken away, when you were censored, when you were put down. They celebrated. When you said you wanted transparency, you wanted honor and integrity in games journalism, they mocked you, they laughed at you, they ridiculed you, they belittled you, and yet you're here defending these same people. It makes no sense to me. These people don't deserve your respect. They deserve your contempt. And so watching as they freak out, realizing that we have bypassed them, I'm all for it. I got to be honest.
New normal. This is here to stay, and this is welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the new normal. This is the new normal. This is how things are going to be from now on. And so that's it. They're going to hold back AI the same as they held back Photoshop? Yeah, it's not going to happen. AI doesn't care about feelings? Yeah, neither does China. And the fact is that, so this is the problem with trying to stop AI. And I'm going to explain where it's at. Is that if you have a tool and you refuse to use that tool and somebody else uses that tool and that tool gives them an advantage, then they're going to beat you, right? So what's going to happen is that you're going to have studios in China, studios in, I don't know, like Europe, maybe studios in Russia that are using AI, in India, like Singapore, these other places, right? Saudi Arabia. Yeah, think about how much emerging entertainment industry stuff is coming out of the Middle East right now. Do you think they give a fuck about this? Probably not as much as we do, right? I could be wrong though. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. But the point is that when you have a person that can generate art that's like, it's like, let's say one person can do the work of 50 people, or one person can do the work of 10 people. Well, that means that you have to spend 10% of the money, right? Let's say you pay this person double because they're really good. Let's say you're only spending 20% of the money. You know what that means? That means that you can sell your product at a lower price and you can beat the competition.
Correct. And what I've talked about here, I know a lot of people will be irritated with it. Could not give less of a shit. The product is going to be better. It is going to, how do I know? Because the product can't get any worse. That's how I know it's going to be better. Because it can't get worse. Oh, and then 5 years from now, I'll be doing a video going, oh, it's worse. No. It can't get worse. It can't get worse than a bunch of disgusting, mentally ill leftist freaks in the LGBT community, these malformed weirdos, saying, we have the rights to the Superman IP. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make a story about Superman's son. And guess what? The plot is that he's gay. The main core component is that he's gay. He's going to go on a date with a boy. And that'll be the main thing about it. And he's going to fly around with a rainbow flag and stand up for LGBTQ rights. Those people should be arrested and locked up for the rest of their life for a goddamn crime. I'm only half kidding. These people have taken cherished, beloved works of art and vandalized them in real time. And you expect me to come out and be like, no, we definitely should continue to defend their right to profane and defame and blaspheme and ultimately disgrace works of brilliant literature, works of just absolutely wonderful literature that has affected the lives of so many people for the better, like Lord of the Rings. There is no better example of this than the Rings of Power, where you had a bunch of woke, atheistic activists and a bunch of race-hustling retards, Sophia Nomvet, who went in there and tried to undo Tolkien's work by making it the equivalent of fast food with a, woke crust around it. It was slop. But they called it Lord of the Rings. They put it in a Lord of the Rings wrapper, and what was inside was a giant turd. If AI can come in and it can give people like Tolkien of the Gen Z variety the tools to create something without having to go through these elitist, toxic middlemen, and give something to the world that is beautiful and has a good moral, has a good story, doesn't have to go through the cartel of left-wing, atheistic, degenerate freaks. It can just be something wholesome and good that they want to release, and the internet can watch it and support it if they choose. I'm all for giving people more tools so that they can do it themselves and they don't have to run things through corporations or through these cartel, bouncers, basically. Oh, what's that? You're a Trump supporter? You're a Christian? Oh, well, you're out. You can't be part of this. Ask Doug TenNapel, the creator of Earthworm Jim. Ask him what it was like to be a Christian and a conservative in the arts. Ask him what it was like. He'll tell you. It was horrible. It was horrible. The way that they would treat Christians, the way that they would treat people who were more Republican, more Trump supporter in nature. It was horrible the way that they were treated. Well, guess what? Now things have changed. And now the tools to bypass these people, they're coming out. And I can't wait. And so, of course, Hassan has a take on this. And of course, Hassan's take is, it's Hassan. It's going to be wrong. It's going to be stupid.
Working. I mean, I'm not triggered by it. This is done deliberately. The trigger lives. The right is alting and it's working. I mean, I'm not triggered by it. I'm just disgusted by it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't care if you're making fucking AI art, dude. I don't care. Like, congratulations. You're killing it.
You seem to care. Hassan can't even tell the truth about him care. Oh, I don't care. You seem to care. You're calling it disgust. Well, I mean, that just may be your general low IQ way of, expressing yourself. But you seem to care an awful lot. You do. You care just as much about it as I do, just in the other direction. But I'm willing to admit it, and you're not, because you're a liar. You're a serial liar, and you're a freak, and you're a liar. And did I mention you're a liar? And you're a terrorist supporter.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad that you did an input. You're a real artist, okay? What is so frustrating about all of this is that it's awful.
The brilliant mind of a terrorist supporter.
And it's not just right wingers doing this too. Liberals have been doing this. Leftists have been doing this. They like the art style, so they think it's dope. I don't think this is exactly right. My guess is that a lot of AI art will be similar to what has happened in the clothing industry. Technology speeds up production, benefiting consumers. Only enthusiasts will care if something is made by hand or not. Yeah. This is done deliberately to trigger.
I mean, it's remarkable how nearly every take Hassan has is wrong. It's astonishing, actually, in a way, because usually with people, it's like you get a bunch wrong, but there are some things that you can get right. But Hassan gets everything wrong. And not just wrong, but aggressively wrong. In a way that nobody could have seen coming. Like, about AI. Why is AI bad? Well, AI bad is because it's disgusting and it's bad and it's terrible. Okay, why? Man, alright, moving on. It's like, this guy doesn't have the mental capacity or the ability to articulate why he feels what he feels. I just did a whole video expressing why I'm in favor of AI doing what it's doing. I want to give people the tools that may have it to create a better future. I'm also delighted in the fact that these freaks, these left-wing degenerate retards that are the worst people in the world, genuinely some of the worst people in the world that have this way out of whack opinion of themselves, are going to get taken down a peg. The consumer is going to get a better product because it's not going to have to run through all of these different corporations and checks and balances. I've expressed multiple different reasons why I'm in favor of this. When Hassan is asked, why is this bad? It's disgusting. It's filthy. This is Jank's nephew. And that's the ultimate conclusion I can make. Why is it bad? Well, because the right wing. See, it doesn't matter right wing, left wing. What matters is right and wrong. Sometimes the right's wrong, but most of the time the left is wrong. 99.9% of the time the left is wrong. Their approach is wrong. Their tactics are wrong. Everything. It's disgusting because these are evil, narcissistic people that want to be worshipped because they want to be the god of this world, and they're not. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to do a video on this talking about it, and I did. I got to express my opinion. Thank you to all of you who tuned in and listened. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.